Hello, here is an introduction to integration by parts. First, I understand that there's tons of tutorials out there for the same thing. Therefore, if I can't be a help, I'd highly recommend you check out Professor Leonard, who was an extraordinary supplement to my calculus classes, Professor Dave Explains, organic chemistry tutor Patrick JMT, and a couple of others. And I may be able to provide links in cards and or description below. And I am fully aware that I may not be able to reach through to every single person watching this. I'm definitely not professing a breakthrough in teaching or being the best tutor in the world. I just simply want to help out the best I can, and teaching's my passion. So let's get started. So integration by parts is when you are integrating, let's say, a product, something that you can't really do with use substitution. To understand where we derive the formula for, let's recall what the derivative, and let's put it in respect to x, the derivative of f of x, g of x. Okay, now that's just product rule, and the mnemonic that I learned could be different for a couple of you out there. I'm going to assume that you know this already, but the derivative of two functions would be the first times the derivative of the second. So first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. There. Okay, now instead of using like f of x and g of x and having all these parentheses and all that, let's let f of x be denoted as u, and let g of x be denoted as v. That way the derivative of f could be u prime, or we could simply write du. Okay, that represents the derivative of u. And g prime of x will be dv. Okay, so let's substitute that in here. So let's copy this down. D dx times u times v. Okay, that's the product. The derivative of a product equals the first, okay, times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. Okay, u dv plus v du. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be integrating both sides. Okay, and if we recall from the first, or the fundamental theorem of calculus, an integral of a derivative just cancels out and you're left with uv, and that's going to equal the integral of u dv plus the integral of v du. I'm simply distributing that integral sign to both of those, which you could do. And then let's rearrange. So I'm going to subtract the u dv from both sides. Okay, the integral of u dv from both sides. Okay, and then that cancels, and then I'm going to subtract uv from both sides. That cancels. Okay, so far we have negative the integral u dv equals negative uv plus v du, the integral of v du. So that's just simple algebra right there. You'll find in a lot of calculus that you're doing a lot of algebra and trig and little calculus in the long run. So that's why a good foundation of both algebra and trig is very, very vital if you are taking calculus. So right here, to get rid of these negative signs, I'm just going to multiply everything by -1, like that. And so I have the integral of u dv equals positive uv minus the integral of v du. And that is the formula right here. And that is essentially how it's derived. And then in a future tutorial, I plan to do practice examples, different techniques to integration by parts. So thank you very much for your time. It does take practice and not giving up on what you're passionate about. Whatever your major is, if it's truly your passion, just don't give up on it and keep on practicing. And have a nice day.